Hello, it's Shanetta here. I'm owner operator of BWE. I do healthy keto meals and I provide those meals. So I'm here to show you how to cook a spaghetti squash. It seems like this is a vegetable that people are a little bit intimidated by. I noticed that there were a lot of them at the store when I went out during Armageddon. So let me show you. It's very simple. What you want to do is to first put your oven on 3, heat it to 400 degrees. Then we're going to have the spaghetti squash. The first thing you want to do is to cut the squash. So you want to cut the end off of the squash. So this part right here. The spaghetti squash is difficult to cut. So you want to make sure that when you do cut it, I always hack it first. Okay. And then I cut that off. And I'll show you that. So this is what's cut off. This part's cut off. You want to cut that part off. And then you're going to take and split it down the middle. So you can do it like this, but it's easier if you take the end that was cut off and put your knife into it and then cut that off. So I'm going to show you, I'll try to show you step by step sort of. Okay, so once you cut the spaghetti squash open, it's going to look like this. You want to take and get all of the seeds out, all the gooky, stringy stuff out, and when you get done, it will look like this. It'll be all hollowed out. You want to do both sides like that. Alright, so once you get it to look like this, and I just took a spoon, as I did, I just took a spoon and cleaned all of this out. Okay. That's all I did was take just the tablespoon and clean that out. Alright, so then you want to take it and spray or pour olive oil into it. I actually have an olive oil spray that I have and I use. So I'm just going to take it and spray it. Spray that. And then I'm going to take my little brush. I'm going to make sure that it's all covered all over. All on the outside edges. All the parts are all done. Alright. Once you get that done and it's all covered with the olive oil, you want to that's when you add the seasoning. Oh, my oven's ready. So 400 degrees. Alright, so then you take and you just sprinkle it. I put sea salt. I have some sea salt and I just sprinkle it with sea salt. And then pepper. Now, depending on what you're cooking, you can also go ahead and pre-season it with bouillon if you use that, or whatever Italian seasoning if you're going to make something Italian with it. I think I will put a little Italian seasoning on here. But you always want to put the salt and the pepper. Now I'm going to prep the pan. Give me just a second. Alright, so now that we have the spaghetti squash all seasoned, this has pepper and Italian seasoning and sea salt on it. You're going to take it and you're going to put it onto your cookie sheet face down, like so. Alright, so, and I put it on parchment paper. I always use parchment paper because I just don't want it to stick. I don't use aluminum foil ever since Kevin and Leif from Two Shy Guys and a Mic told me that aluminum foil is bad. So I just don't use aluminum foil anymore. Once you know better, do better, right? So, alright, so now once you do have it down, you want to make sure that you poke it with a fork so you want holes in it. Again, this is difficult, so you have to like really make sure you have a sturdy fork, and you're going to like stab it and jab it. You're going to stab it until you put the fork holes in. All right, so now it's ready. It is now ready to go into the oven. So it's got the holes in it. It's really simple to make spaghetti squash. I think people are just intimidated by the process, but it's really easy. You just cut it, season it, and then you preheat your oven to 400, stick it in the oven. It's going to be in the oven for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour or so, depending on how big your spaghetti squash is. So the bigger the squash, the longer it takes for it to cook. So it's not too big. It's just big enough. So I'll probably have it in there for 45 minutes. I'll have it in there for 45 minutes, and then I'll take it out and show you the results. All right. So this is what the spaghetti squash looks like after you turn it over. You gotta let it cool off. You cannot deal with it while it's hot. I hope you can see the steam coming off of it. So you flip it over so it can kind of stop cooking it as well. Go ahead and flip it over and let it cool off. And then I will show you the next step. Okay, so it's cooled off now, at least so it can be cool to the touch. You just want it to be cool enough where you can handle it, because you have to hold it and take a fork and twist it. So let's see if I can twist it without. Okay, so you want to take your fork and just kind of twist it, and it'll loosen it up from the shell. I usually go around it like so, and just kind of pull it away from the edges. Then you kind of fluff it. Once you do that, it's really difficult to do this with my hand. I need to get a better camera. We'll work on it. So you just kind of fluff it, and see it comes apart like spaghetti. And it's pretty seasoned, but it's seasoned, but you can't just eat it like this. I mean, you can eat it like this, but you want some seasoning on it. So just like you would season your spaghetti, like if you were having spaghetti or some kind of a pasta dish, this is definitely a great substitute for that. All right, so I hope that you learned how to bake spaghetti squash, and I'll talk to you later.